We love hip hop.
Factor Canada. They got jammed. So for y'all who don't know who Factor Canada is, for people outside of Canada, Factor is an organization that you can apply for a grant. You can get money for your music videos. A lot of music videos that people would see back in the days were paid for by Factor. Anytime you see like the Cardinal Official music videos, even like Avril Lavigne music videos and Alanis Morissette were funded by Factor. Okay, they'll give you at least $30,000 sometimes for a music video. For us ourselves, I applied for a Factor grant, or my grant writers applied for a Factor grant back in 2020 or 2021, or we applied in 2020, and in 2021 we got accepted. They gave us like 10 racks. We applied for 30 racks, but they gave us 10, and we were able to put together a nice workshop. I had 3 instructors come through, teach about film and editing and stuff like that. Big Salute the Brown guy made it. Bo Pinto came through, taught about social media. We did well with the money. I paid the team out. Cool shit. But usually people use it to fund their music videos, fund their projects as far as production for their projects and stuff like that. So Factor is a very, very important foundation when it comes to Canada. So I'm going to pull up something here via cp24.com, because apparently Factor, they do their banking through Scotiabank, and then Scotiabank dropped the ball. They got hit with a phishing scam. Factor got hit with a phishing scam, and they were able to infiltrate their company and steal almost $10 million from these guys. $10 million of money that artists would be able to use right now, especially in a time where times are tough. So I'll play this here. Hopefully no ads. They're going to run a quick ad. Jeez. This song that is playing right here, Maestro Fresh West. All right. That was a Factor grant for that video right there. I'll probably get a copyright for that later.
And a Toronto-based nonprofit that provides grants to musicians says nearly $10 million was stolen from its bank account by a cyber criminal. The foundation assisting Canadian Talent on Records, or Factor, says Scotiabank should be responsible for reimbursing the loss. However, Scotiabank's lawyers argue that Factor's login credentials were likely obtained through a phishing scam or a failure to adequately protect the information. And for more on this story, you can always head to our website or the CP24 app.
So they got jammed through a phishing scam, and I think Scotiabank, I guess they're trying to throw the ball back over to them. Let me just read through this quick fast. A Toronto-based nonprofit that provides musicians and others with music industry says that they lost nearly $10 million was stolen from their bank account, and a cyber criminal. Okay, we got through all of that part. Let me go to meat and potatoes. While the alleged illicit transfer of funds took place in June, the filings alleged that the fraudsters hacked the Factor's Scotiabank account with an employee credential on January 18th. The alleged fraudsters used the employees' logins, passwords, and digital token, which was fully authenticated through bank systems. A new user was created with the email address Sarah blah 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 on Outlook, who was a Factor former chief financial advisor. Damn. The account was then able to access the grant provider's accounts. The fraudster then logged into the account for more than 24 times from January to June, the filing state. It took more than 5 months before Scotiabank disclosed that the sole legitimate Factor employee with digital access, along with Factor CEO, were deleted from Scotiabank systems as authorized users within minutes of the unauthorized wire. So I guess as soon as they found out, they deleted those two. No alerts advising the deletion of Factor's personnel was provided to Factor, nor there were any notices from Scotiabank about the suspicious activity. Wow. Hold the phone. That's how they're playing. So they zap these two. Hold on, let me get this clear. So you guys seen the breach. After 5 months, you said, oh, these guys are not authorized users. You deleted the 2 users, but then you didn't notify Factor? What part of the game is that? Okay, so the documents paint a proverbial blame game among all the parties involved, each making a case as to why they are not responsible for nearly 10 million loss in taxpayers' funds, right? Taxpayer funds. In the Scotiabank legal filings, they point to the explanation provided by the digital forensics expert at A.W.O.L, who said the most likely explanation is, as to how the cyber criminal got the employees' credentials was either due to involvement within the fraud, or unwittingly gave up their credentials as part of a phishing, social engineering, and malware attack. Factor disagrees with this assertion, saying that 4 independent investigators found no evidence that the company or anyone was part of were anyway responsible. So these guys are just basically pushing the blame back and forth. Hold on, this is important here. Meanwhile, Campania vehemently denies involvement in the fraud, and court documents lawyers that Campania claims someone from Factor emailed one of his affiliates to buy 2,800 Bitcoins mining machines, which cost between 3,200 USD and 3,500, roughly $4,500 over here. The lawyers say that the transfer was payments to fulfill that order. Factor did respond to this. Factor responded to this on their website. And I'll pull this up as well. This is crazy. And I'm sorry for the botched readings. This is a mud thing. Let me pull up the Factor response, because so let me make this a little bit bigger on the screen so I'm not straining my damn eyes. Okay. As reported in the media, it is true that Factor has been victim of a significant financial crime that occurred on June 12, 2024, in the way of a one-time fraudulent wire from the Scotiabank account on Scotia Connect in the amount of $9,772,875.33. In addition to what has been reported, we want to clarify several additional key facts. Factor alerted Scotiabank to be locked out of its online account on June 13th, 2024. Once it had been an assertion, what is this word? Okay, once it had been ascertained that the theft had taken place, Factor immediately reported this to law enforcement on June 14th, 2024. Scotiabank has acknowledged it has never reported this financial crime to law enforcement. So Factor had to call the police. That's crazy. Factor took swift and considerable steps within hours of learning of this crime to retain experts, third-party independent investigators to conduct a thorough investigation into all aspects of this fraudulent one-time wire, which was more than 300 times larger than any wire the organization has ever done, executed by an unauthorized user with no alerts to Factor of this highly unusual, suspicious, and illegal activity. Factor has since learned that the Scotiabank issued a digital token to the unauthorized intruder on January 18, 2024, without alerting Factor to the fact. The intruder gained access to Factor's account with an IP address that had never accessed our account, and using an Outlook email, not a factor.ca email. That's the crazy shit. Hold on, I got to stop for a second. This is wild. Because that was a red flag that I seen earlier too. So they were able to change the email address and then put it to some Outlook shit. Who even uses Outlook anymore? And they didn't do, no red flag went up over there at Factor like Outlook. That's like somebody with a Yahoo account. Borough Sound TV. Big salute to DJ Czar. It says house 9.7 million wire not being flagged. Yeah. Low key. These niggas might have to sue these niggas, and then somebody might have to go to jail. Because I think Scotiabank might be in on this shit. This is nasty work right here. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so it took more than 5 months before Scotiabank disclosed the sole legitimate Factor employee with digital access, along with Factor CEO, were deleted from the Scotiabank system as authorized users within minutes of the unauthorized wire. So I read that in the article before. No alert advising the deletion of Factor personnel was provided to Factor, nor was there any notice from Scotiabank with the suspicious activity. The funds were wired to a Scotiabank account of a number company in Quebec owned by James Campagna, and immediately wired to Mr. Campagna and Virgo CX to purchase cryptocurrency. So these niggas flipped that shit into crypto ASAP. Factor has spent a substantial amount of substantial time and funds on several independent investigators, all of which concluded no breach of Factor system occurred. Factor's board retained expert investigation and forensic team to stand behind their findings. As all four independent investigations have found no evidence that Factor or any of their employees, agents, or contractors were in any way responsible. So, just to paraphrase that quick fast. So after their investigation, they seen that there was no foul play on the Factor end. All right. And these guys put, I guess, a bunch of investigators, a bunch of time into the shit. And they're saying on their end, no breach on the Factor side. All the breaching and everything that's been happening, that's all Scotiabank. All right. So Scotiabank, you got some explaining to do. That's crazy. Hold on, let me finish this here. Okay, considerable steps to ensure all Factor systems and accounts were secure have been and continue to be in place. We are confident that this incident was isolated to one of our Scotiabank accounts where we no longer do daily banking. Wow, these guys have that much money that they have it in a forgotten account, and all of their remaining systems and accounts are secure. Throughout this process, Scotiabank participated reluctantly and in the most limited fashion, only sharing even small amounts of information after being compelled to do so in court. Painfully, we have been working for months to recover our stolen funds through our court actions against Scotiabank, Mr. Campagna, and Virgo CX. While this matter is before the courts, Factor is limited in what we can say. However, we wish to state clearly and firmly that Factor will vigorously pursue the recovery of the stolen funds, defend the baseless allegations being made by Scotiabank against our systems and staff, and ensure that Scotiabank honors its security guarantee to customers while making every effort to see that the criminals responsible are brought to justice. Until this matter is resolved in court, Factor will continue to honor its commitments to all Canadian artists and music companies it serves. Well, goddamn. I think this deserves a poll. And the Andrew Schultz poll, I asked if Andrew Schultz should get canceled. Just spin back on that quick fast. Just to let you all know, 61% says no, and 39% says yes. All right, so we like jokes over here. I'm going to ask you guys, is Scotiabank responsible for Factor's money? Because I really feel like at this point, if everything is true, if the business is true, if everything is true of what Factor is saying, and they did multiple investigations and forensic analysis and all type of shit that they're explaining over here, then I would imagine that they're not responsible for the lost money. They're saying here in the article that they had two employees sign up and get into the accounts to be able to take all this money out. And these two people were not employees anymore. They were people that were fired or let go years ago. Former employees, let's call them. And then at the flip side, for us as artists and creators out here, that's our money, yo. I don't know if Factor has insurance that's going to be able to cover 10 mil. But damn, bro. What does that mean for artists right now if they're trying to apply for a grant? What the hell? They're going to tell you, oh, I ain't got it right now. We were going to, you were going to get accepted for that grant for the 50K. But you see the news. Hey, you see what happened? Come on. We're kind of low right now. Like 10 million low. So let me go check in the poll because I'm not going to keep this up for too long here. I'm asking, is Scotiabank responsible for Factor's money? 70% says yes, 30% says no. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. We might have to spread the responsibility out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I do understand that Scotiabank did drop the ball crazy with this because, like, bruh, you're trying to tell me that these guys were able to take $10 million out of the account and you guys didn't notify Factor? That's kind of fishy. But on the flip side, Factor, you guys lost $10 million from January to June, and you didn't notice that the $10 million was missing? Like, something's not right here. I'm just saying, something's not right here. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Oh, well, I kind of am. I'm accusing both of y'all of something. But something not right here. What do y'all think, gang? Y'all think that this is a Factor trying to do the okie doke on Scotiabank? Well, listen, man. Y'all lost my $10 million. Can I get my $10 million back? Well, they got $10 million just sitting in the back over there. Or do you think it's the other way around? Scotiabank was like, listen, man, I don't know what happened, bro. You guys lost the money. We didn't lose it. It's not, we were holding it for you. I get it. I understand. I was holding your money. But one of y'all niggas came and picked it up and took it with you. It's not us. Go talk to your own people. Nerdy Girl says Canada's weak on laws. On some laws, yes. But on this, with this right here, it's kind of dicey because this is money from the taxpayers that they're using to help fund artists. So it's like the money could just sit there until some artists get funded. Next year it'll just sit there again. People could be playing with this money when artists are not using it. Who knows what kind of shit that Factor's doing on their side. And when it comes to fraud, nobody goes away for a long time for some fraud shit. But if something does happen with this where somebody's liable, I would imagine somebody should have to go to jail for this shit too. Because if you take $10 million or if you figure out a way to scam me out of $10 million, whoever was the culprit, as a businessman, you got to see some jail time. I want to see that nigga in jail. You took $10 million from me, B. Right under my nose. If it's in the streets, maybe we'll handle it a different way. But, bruh, Give me my $10 million back and go hold a jail cell. But I just found this very interesting. I'll keep you guys updated on this, most definitely, because I want to see if these guys get their money back. I'm in the process of applying for a grant from a different company, Ontario Creates. Hopefully we get that. You know what I mean? Ontario Creates. If you see this, we out here. We're working. We're the hardest working network out here. You know what I mean? Bless us with a little change. But Factor, I don't know. They might be out of commission for now. So salute the Factor.
We love hip hop.